You don't need to go to Niagara Falls when you can eat some Brian balls.
Number 10, Chase Elliott's Daytona 500 pole win car. For the third year in a row, Lionel Racing has created this one-of-a-heck diecast with Austin Dillon in 2014 and Jeff Gordon in 2015. However, this year they decided not to put a base on this car, which was kind of cool, and it did got a lot of Chase Elliott fans very happy. But however, I don't really see the significance of getting a pole win car produced. I mean, after all, you start first at Daytona 500, but you don't finish first, so don't really see the significance about this car very much. Still a nice-looking car, though. Number 9, Kyle Larson's Target Chevrolet. Now, before all the Kyle Larson fans get very upset about this video and start commenting, oh my god, how can you do this? Such a tragedy. Why is Kyle Larson in the worst list? Well, hear me out on this. While the car and the diecast render does look very nice, however, Lionel screwed up on the diecast gradients. What I mean by that is that this car was supposed to be a lot more white on the bottom, but instead the fading kind of turned pinkish and the results weren't so promising. However, the 124 still looks nice though. Coming in at number 8 spot, Chase Elliott's 2016 Mountain Dew Chase for the Cup car. Now, this is probably one of my favorite Chase Elliott cars in the top 5 of like Chase Elliott diecasts that we had for last year. And a lot of you guys wondering, why is this car on the worst diecast list? Well, this car is technically inaccurate. In the render, it did not show any chase marks, but this car did ran at the chase race and at Kansas, and this car unfortunately has the wrong spoiler on both the 124 and the 164, so it's supposed to be yellow. I mean, come on, Lionel, get with the program. Number 7, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Exalta Car Star. Now, I have to admit, the Exalta car is probably one of my favorite Dale Jr. paint schemes from last year because it reminded me of an old 2003 Oriole Ritz paint scheme that he drove in the NASCAR Busch series. However, though, I loved that I just don't really like how Exalta always comes up with these little sponsored changes and make a whole new diecast out of it, especially since they had a big paint scheme reveal at the first quarter of 2016, and it wasn't really worth the hype, and that's why this car is on the list. Number 6, Kyle Busch Snickers Crisper car. And Kyle Busch did ran this paint scheme at Watkins Glen in the Watkins Glen race in 2016. However, though, I think next to the Interstate Batteries car, this was probably one of the most poorly designed Kyle Busch schemes that we got for this year. While Snickers has really had some controversial schemes about their designs with the Snickers and how off-centered the Snickers logo was, this car, while the colors were really cool, just how off-centered that Snickers logo is just really bad and gives a lot of people OCD. Heading over in our top 5, we got Jeffrey Earnhardt's 2016 Darlington Throwback Outer Pops car. Now, originally this car, as I show you right here, was supposed to have just the regular Keen Parts logo, but however, there were some sponsor changes, and it did screw up what was a very familiar car driven by Dale Earnhardt Wrangler into a different car with the additional white rims and also the Outer Pops logo. It just really was unsettling, and it did not really look like the original throwback that we had from Dale Earnhardt, and that's why it's on this list. Number 4, Danica Patrick's Nature's Bakery Throwback? Now, why I actually put a question mark what throwback is, well, technically, I think this was probably the worst Donaldson throwback card that we got from the Donaldson throwback line. And first of all, it was really a throwback. You know, if you come to think about all the NASCAR diecasts that were released from the throwbacks were a throwback to some of the older NASCAR diecasts, but this was a company throwback, and Nature's Bakery failed because they promoted their double chocolate brownies. Gee, what a fail. Number 3, Danica Patrick's Nature's Bakery Refreshed. Now, when they first released the diecast render of this car, I thought it was going to be like an updated car, and technically that's all this car is. It's an updated car that Lionel decided to produce of the Nature's Bakery car, because they decided to change the logos on the side panels of this car, and that's basically the only difference. So, yeah, why couldn't they do that on the first release car that was released? So, I don't know, kind of a fail for Nature's Bakery. They decided to make this, including Lionel as well. Rounding off our second spot, Matt Kenseth's Tide Donaldson Throwback. Now, before you guys post a nasty comment about how this car is one of the worst diecasts ever got from this year, hear me out on this. While this is one of the most recognizable Donaldson Throwbacks car that we got from last year and one of the fan favorites, Lionel screwed up badly on this car. First of all, this is the only Donaldson Throwback car that they put on the PTC mode, which is very inaccurate, and the coloring of the orange was so dark, it just made this car look so inaccurate because JGR wanted to rush this car out. Before we take a number 1 spot, let's take a look at our honorable mention. The discount tire cars from various Xfinity drivers. Now, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney are very famous, Team Penske drivers, but I think a lot of people are really tired of seeing this car. Either they got to put a different driver on this car, or they got to stop producing 3 of the same cars with just different names on it. I just find that a little annoying, but I'm sure some Team Penske fans are still like this car, and that's why it wasn't on our top 10 list. And the number 1 worst diecast from 2016 is the Batman vs. Superman cars. Now, I know this is very surprising to see a Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson car at number 1 for a worst diecast. But while these were some very cool paint schemes to represent the national superheroes from DC, these cars were way overproduced. So the rarity of these cars weren't really that rare. And I liked how NASCAR Authentics promoted that these were going to be Walmart exclusives, but they were everywhere. And also they have caused, they were basically just peg warmers, and they were just way overproduced. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give a good comment, like. If you guys haven't already, I highly encourage you guys to subscribe to my channel as we posting more top 10 videos as the year goes on. And feel free to comment below what top 10 you guys want to see next on the next NASCAR Diecast Countdown. Until then, guys, this is Richard Bryce signing off. It's so long for now, everybody.